Doing a unboxing for our latest Armadillidium maculatum. Getting a mixed lot from, I believe it was Tanner, was his first name, Stainbrook, off of Facebook. This is supposed to be sent, like, it says it was sent by 2-day priority mail. Nice box, good packaging. But the post office, it was sent, there was some funky thing that went on the label. Well, I'm not going to show the whole thing, but on the label here, it didn't have a name and it didn't have the unit number, but written on the box, directly on the box, was the whole thing: business name, pickup person's name, the address, the unit number, and I don't know if he added the phone number or if the post office did that after the fact. But anyway, it made it all the way to our post office, and one of the box jockeys didn't get it off the truck. So it went all the way back to the previous post office, an hour away. So instead of being in transit 2-3 days, it took 4 days. So let's hope that they're all in good shape here. Oh, this is ironic. A bunch of plastic sacks. They're outlawing plastic sacks in Oregon. So let's get rid of those. Okay, what do we have here? I can't see. Let me pull it out. Thank you for supporting our small business. Included in this package are 12 plus zebra isopods plus some fun looking anomalies we will think you enjoy. Cheers, Daphne Stainbrook. That must be his wife. Medieval Serpents. Alright. Okay. I'm all about the weirdos. Not the people. The bugs. Okay. Snakies. Alright, pod babies. I see you curled up in there. I'm going to go ahead and put this on pause so I can get them out of this thing, because they've been in here longer than they should have been. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Look at this. Look at this! Look at this baldy pod! My hands are shaking. Stop shaking. Alright, I'm going to get these guys out. I'm kind of worried about these guys. So far I've counted 9. Number 10 was dead. This is number 11, and he is having a hard time flipping over on his own. There's another couple of guys that haven't really uncurled. They're the one baldy was in great shape, but these guys are really sluggish. I'm beginning to wish now that I was putting them into a smaller container so I could keep better track. That one doesn't look like he's doing good either. And this guy's DOA. Can't see it. Well, he looks like he's DOA. Let's see if I can. No, that one's definitely dead. Where'd the other guy go? Where is he? I can't find it. I'll come back. Well, except for the Baldy who I first saw, everyone else is really very sluggish. I don't know if they'll perk up when they get warmer. They're just not wanting to move around. One of them's dead on arrival. Yeah, these guys aren't wanting to move. The other guys went down in there. I'm going to sort through the rest of this. This is a combination of substrate and moss. Not exactly what I like to have them sent in. They were all up at the top for one thing, so it's definitely, it's heavy, it's too wet, it's impacted, so it's not like they could really burrow in it. So they were smothering under here. They got too cold, even though there was good insulation. So like I say, I'll try to look for them later today and see what they're like. So far I've only found 12, not 12 plus, and one's dead. So I'll dig through this more, see if anything else is in here, and finish up later. Well, I dug through the rest of the substrate in the container they came in with my handy dandy bug picker. There seems to be sand in this. I don't put any sand in my substrate. I didn't find... I'll let this sit because you just never know. I keep the stuff everybody comes in. If I don't dump it all, I don't want the sand in my container. There's a giant Orbeez. But I hang on to the stuff just in case. Because right now I've got a container that's got... a tiny snail, some pink springtails, and a minuscule koi scaber running around that I can't get my hands on. So yeah, it pays to hang on to this stuff. Anyway, yeah, these guys are not, they're not in the best of shape. They're not wanting to move. They might be dead later. The others have already disappeared down in there somewhere. Let's see, where's this one? This one's not moving. This one's not wanting to move. They went down in there. And that one's dead. And the only other thing I found, number 13.
How many did they send you?
Well, it said 12 plus, and I think this is the 13th one here, but he appears to be dead too. So, let's see if I can pick it up. No, I'm still looking at it. This is so small, I can't focus in on it. Yep, this one's dead too. Found him all curled up and mashed under the substrate. He hasn't moved at all. Nope. Well, that sucks. So 2 DOAs. And I don't know how these guys are gonna pop back, if they're gonna pop back. Yeah, I wish I would have put these in a smaller container. Anyway, I put them in the standard container I put all of them in. So I guess we'll just have to see what happens. I hope that Baldy makes it. I wish now that I would have separated him out right away, him and the other one. So I guess we'll see. Okay, I just got home and I was reading on here. I was just in touch. Well, I was in touch with them earlier, but and I told them what I found. That there were 13 and 2 DOA. When I got home, it's a good thing I left them both in the container. You know, I dumped the substrate into another container to sift through it, and and the one was actually alive when I got home, so that's good. But then he says, packed 13 myself. When we returned from the show, my wife added a few. Should have been at least 2, mostly whiteout versions. Can resend you a few in a week when I'm home if you want a couple to replace those. Make sure the label is better next time as well. Just let me know, and thanks for choosing us. And I thought 13 was probably it, and we just had the 1 DOA, but I'm starting to look through here now, and they're really tiny, so it's hard to see, because this is all a mixture of sphagnum and then a really sandy substrate, and it's really hard to see, but I'm finding the extras. There's another one. And I already wrote back to him and told him I wouldn't expect, you know, I got the 12 I was supposed to have. But that's kind of sad. This one here, I mean, they just got crushed, it looks like, in the substrate. This one's a high white, so that's really a shame. And I can't tell with that one. The substrate is just simply, it was too heavy. Let me see if I could turn this light around better. Hang on a minute, I'm having trouble with my light. But there, that's better. The substrate was just, I mean, I'm finding these guys, they were buried in there. All the others were at the top when I first unboxed them, and these guys were just buried. Let's see, so what is this? So we've got out of the 13 I unboxed, we had 12 alive, 1 dead, which is this one. And then the crescent shape, look how tiny they are. The crescent shaped one was alive. I don't know how, but he was alive. He was alive when I got home. And I found this one dead, so that's See, that's numbered 13, 14, 15, 16. So that's 4 DOA, and really having a hard time seeing what else might be in here. I mean, because they're all covered with this stuff, with this substrate. I found a dog hair or a cat hair, some kind of white hair, I'm not sure earlier what that was, but I'm picking through it. I wonder if this is substrate that they just used for the packing, because I don't even see any springtails in here. And most of the shipments I've got, if people have sent it in substrate from their cultures, it's like got a lot of springtails, which is nothing wrong with that. That's how I want it with my pinks. Okay, oop, is that another one? This is such a mess. I can't tell. No. Well, wait a minute. Let's see if I can pick that out. I think that's a rock. That's a rock. I think that's a rock. That's a rock. That's a rock. Okay. I can't even see what I'm filming here. But I got my handy dandy pod poker here. Pod picker, whatever you want to call it. Is that another rock? That's another rock. Yeah, I don't like using sand. I mean, I don't use it. Obviously, there's some coarser sand in there. But I think it's too easy for them to get cut up on sand. I mean, yes, some of them do live in sand, but then again, they're not being transported in a container of substrate that's going to get banged around and compressed in shipping. There's got to be a better way. Something lighter weight to ship them in. I've had them. Oh, that's my moss right there. I've received pods shipped in damp shavings, which has been pretty successful. There's a piece of bark. So that wouldn't be good. I've had them received in a fairly loose sphagnum, which wasn't too bad. I had them received in a thing of sphagnum that was absolutely packed solid. I mean, the poor things couldn't even move. I'm picking through here as carefully as I can. Another thing too to take note of is unless it's something like peat moss, it's still, I think, you still need to have a permit to move soil. I know for plants, it's illegal to be moving or selling plants unless they're bare root or have a non-soil substrate. I think it's got to be something like either core or sphagnum, but not actual soil. This has got an awful lot of sand. Very gritty. Yeah, I'm not a fan of sand. Plus it's heavy. It packs down a lot. Okay, is that... No, I keep seeing little bits of rock. So... Another piece of wood. And the problem is a lot of these, you know, you could, it seems like sometimes the more carefully packaged, I mean, if you put like fragile or whatever on the outside of it, some people, and of course I've seen this on YouTube, will treat it more harshly, which sucks. I wouldn't have shipped it with the little chunks of wood either. It's too easy for stuff like that to, you know, roll around in there and smash them. Alright, well, another piece of wood. Oops, no, that's a piece of, that's a little piece of bark. And here's another piece of carrot. Where'd that Orbeez go? Another rock. That's a leaf, but I had the leaf in the container already. What's that? It's like some kind of little flower bed looking thing. Another piece of wood. Where'd that Orbeez go? I think there it is. That's a really big one too. Oh gosh. See, it's like that ball in, what was it, Raiders of the Lost Ark? Cool. Rolling back and forth. Another piece of wood. See, none of that stuff should be in there. Okay, I have picked and picked and picked and picked and picked through this. Gone through all the moss. No sign of anything else, alive or otherwise, that I could tell. So that's it. So this doesn't count because that's a rock. So, and there goes my camera battery. But we've got a big Orbeez. Got a couple of chunks of carrot here. A bunch of wood. You know, which... And I found these guys dead in the super sandy substrate that they were shipped in, so... So received 13 and have 4 DOA. And that's not enough in, you know, my good conscience to say, you know, ship me out a replacement. I mean, that would be kind of... That's asking too much. I would think that would be asking too much anyway. If there are at least a quarter of them dead, a third, you know, half or more, yeah, that would, but not 4. So I'm not going to ask for, you know, a return on that. But, you know, for future purchases, you know, it would be nice to just have no substrate, with no chunky stuff, maybe much smaller pieces of carrot, smaller Orbeez, definitely either no substrate, just the moss or some shavings or something lighter weight that's not going to pack down and smother them, or, you know, they probably got crushed by some of this stuff rolling around in there too, is my guess. These guys, most of them are rolled up or partially rolled. That guy's not even rolled up, so... Yeah, that's one of the highs and lows of getting shipments, and you just never know. And it all depends on packaging. The packaging itself, you know, was great. No issue with the packaging, but not a fan of all the chunky stuff or the sandy, super moist substrate that just really packed down and either got smothered or crushed in that. So... That's just a little something to consider in the future. That and the Raiders of the Lost Ark thing. Yeah. Yep. Look at this. Look at this! Look at this baldy pod! My hands are shaking. Stop shaking.